December 16th, 2025, a date that will be remembered as a pivotal moment in Europe's modern history. Europe is on high alert. The continent is bracing for a challenge unlike any it has faced in recent decades. China has tightened its grip on rare earth exports, threatening the backbone of Europe's tech and green industries. These critical materials are now at the center of a global power struggle. These elements power everything from smartphones to electric cars and are essential for the future of clean energy and digital innovation. Beijing's move isn't just about trade, it's a direct challenge to Europe's industrial sovereignty, putting pressure on the continent's ability to control its own destiny. Factories face slowdowns. The European Green Deal is suddenly at risk as production lines grind to a halt and workers await answers. Without neodymium for wind turbines or lithium for EV batteries, Europe's green transition could stall, threatening climate targets and energy security. This is now a matter of security, not just economics. The stakes have never been higher for Europe's future. European leaders are scrambling for solutions, holding emergency calls and late-night meetings, knowing inaction isn't an option. The EU, built on open markets, now faces a new reality. Access to raw materials can be weaponized, and economic openness can become a vulnerability. The question is no longer if Europe should act, but how fast. Every hour counts as the crisis deepens. Emergency meetings are underway. New directives are being drafted, and contingency plans are being put into motion. The message from Brussels is clear. Europe will not be held hostage. The continent is ready to defend its interests. This is a turning point, a catalyst for a supply chain revolution that will reshape Europe's industrial landscape for years to come. The goal: break free from dependency and build a resilient, independent industrial base capable of withstanding future shocks. Europe is uniting with unprecedented urgency, forging new alliances and strengthening old ones. The continent is rethinking decades of trade policy, rewriting the rules to prioritize security and sustainability. The stakes, economic stability, climate goals, and strategic autonomy, are all on the line as Europe charts a new course. The crisis is immediate, but so is the resolve. Europe's leaders and citizens are rising to the challenge. Europe is determined to transform vulnerability into strength, turning adversity into opportunity for innovation and growth. The supply chain revolution starts now, marking the dawn of a new era for Europe's independence and resilience. What exactly are rare earths, and why do they matter so much to Europe's future? They're a group of 17 metallic elements, notoriously tough to mine and process, but absolutely essential for the technology that powers our daily lives. You'll find them in electric vehicle motors, wind turbines, smartphones, and even in advanced defense systems, making them the backbone of modern industry. Europe's high-tech industries depend on a stable, uninterrupted supply. Without it, innovation slows, and entire sectors risk grinding to a halt. The challenge? Europe relies overwhelmingly on China, which not only controls most mining, but also dominates nearly all global processing of these elements. When China restricts exports, European factories and workers feel the impact almost immediately, with production lines stalling and uncertainty rising. This deep dependency is Europe's Achilles heel, exposing the continent to sudden supply shocks and increasing political pressure from abroad. The European Green Deal, climate neutrality, electric vehicles, and renewable energy, relies heavily on these critical materials to succeed. Without secure and reliable access, Europe's ambitious green transition and energy independence are on shaky ground, facing real risks of delay. The current crisis has made one thing clear: Europe's future prosperity and security can't hinge on decisions made in Beijing. Securing rare earths is now about more than just economics. It's about Europe's survival, technological leadership, and environmental destiny. The time to act is now, before the window of opportunity closes. Europe is mobilizing fast. The Critical Raw Materials Act is in play, Europe's battle plan for resource security. The EU is investing in domestic mining, processing, and recycling. Fast-tracked permits for new mines in Sweden and Finland are underway. Billions of euros are flowing into new processing plants and magnet factories. National governments are stockpiling materials and funding R&D for alternatives. A centralized EU purchasing system boosts bargaining power and ensures fair distribution. The European Investment Bank is backing private investment with loan guarantees. This is a whole-of-continent effort, governments and industries moving in lockstep. The aim: bring the entire value chain back to Europe. It's not just about surviving this crisis, but rewiring Europe's industrial DNA for the future. Europe is putting its money where its mouth is. The message: resilience over reliance. Europe knows it can't go it alone. The EU is forging new partnerships with resource-rich democracies: Australia, Canada, Chile. These aren't just trade deals, they're deep strategic alliances. European companies are co-investing in mines and processing plants abroad. The goal: diversify risk and build a network of reliable suppliers. At home, Europe is turning waste into opportunity. Urban mining through advanced recycling. New plants extract rare earths from discarded electronics and batteries. The circular economy reduces environmental impact and dependence on imports. Early results are promising. New supply deals, pilot recycling plants, and a tangible shift in strategy. Europe is methodically reducing its exposure to single points of failure. The future: a multi-layered, resilient supply chain. China's export controls are sparking a wave of innovation in Europe. Car makers like Volkswagen and BMW are redesigning motors to use fewer rare earths. Tech companies are rethinking product design for efficiency and recyclability. Material substitution is in focus. Ferrite magnets and other alternatives are being explored. The just-in-time model is out. Just-in-case is in. Companies are stockpiling critical materials and diversifying suppliers, even at higher costs. Startups and research labs are developing breakthrough recycling and material science technologies. Public and private funding is fueling this innovation surge. Europe's crisis response is laying the groundwork for future leadership in green tech. Necessity is driving a new era of sustainable industry. China's rare earth squeeze is a high-stakes gamble. In the short term, it disrupts Europe and flexes Beijing's power. But weaponizing resources signals to the world that China isn't a reliable partner. This accelerates Europe's and the world's push to diversify away from China. Long-term, China risks losing market share and leverage as new mines and recycling ramp up elsewhere. For Europe, building self-sufficiency is costly and slow, with regulatory and environmental hurdles. The transition period leaves industries exposed to shocks and price hikes. The world could split into rival supply chains, one led by China, another by Europe and its allies. This decoupling means higher costs and less innovation for everyone. Both sides face real risks in this new era of resource competition. This crisis is more than a trade dispute. It's a defining moment for Europe, one that will shape its future for years to come. China's actions have forced the EU to confront its vulnerabilities and unite, pushing member states to work together more closely than ever before. Europe is calmly executing a plan for industrial security and strategic autonomy, focusing on strengthening its own industries and reducing critical dependencies. The era of dependence is over. Resilience is the new priority, as Europe seeks to control its own destiny in a rapidly changing world. Europe isn't isolating itself, but rebalancing relationships and investing at home, channeling resources into innovation, infrastructure, and sustainable growth. The goal: engage with China from a position of strength, not weakness, ensuring fair competition and mutual respect in global markets. The transition will be tough and costly, requiring sacrifice and adaptation, but the alternative, continued vulnerability, is far worse. Europe's leaders know this is an investment in sovereignty and green leadership, paving the way for a more sustainable and independent future. The world is watching as Europe rewires its supply chains in real time, setting an example of adaptability and forward-thinking on the global stage. By choosing resilience, Europe sets a precedent for others facing similar risks, inspiring nations to rethink their own strategies for security and growth. In an uncertain world, true strength is the ability to stand on your own feet, ready to face whatever challenges the future may bring.